Hey guys, Jeff, and welcome to today's video. So today I want to talk about how I approach buying guitars. I figured it might make an interesting videos for you guys, just getting a better understanding of why and how I choose to buy a guitar and not another one. Hopefully it can help you guys in your decision-making process better understand the ins and outs of getting a new guitar and why I have so many right now and why I intend to keep getting more. The first reason why I will buy a guitar is because it does something that no other guitar that I have can do. This is typically true of all my guitars, like my extended ranges. So my RG7420 that I had in the past, a 7-string guitar that could do things that a typical guitar cannot do. It could also be because they have different kind of pickups. So my Telecaster, for example, is single coils, where most of my guitars have humbuckers, so it sounds a little different. That makes sense. If ever I wanted to have a guitar with P90s, that could also be a reason why I would go towards a specific type of guitar. My Pink Stratocaster is a bit of a double in that sense, because on the one end it has some single coils, which not many of my guitars have. As I said, I only have that one and the Telecaster that has single coils, so they sound a little different. And on top of that, it's pink, it's very striking, which means that I can use it on stage to be like a very differentiating factor. I like to think that having very striking guitars when I play on stage, at some point during the show at least, that will make me more memorable on stage, and it will help promote my bands. So those are instruments that I would go for in this kind of category, where they can do something very specific that I need or want and that other typical guitars cannot do. Now the second reason why I will buy a guitar is because it is a workhorse guitar, and that's the case for a lot of my more standard guitars. So my Gibson SG, for example, is one of those. My Ibanez RG370 is another one of those. My Charvel, to some extent, is one of those as well. So those are guitars that are all pretty similar. They're all 24 frets, for example. They have 2 humbuckers. They sound about the same. I mean, there are little differences between an active Charvel and a Gibson SG, obviously, but for the most part, they sound fairly similar, and I can swap them out during shows, for example, and it wouldn't make that big of a difference. So those are guitars that I like to have around, and I like to have quite a few of them because I play a lot of shows normally, of course, in 2020. That didn't really happen, but usually I play a lot of shows, and I feel like spreading the wear across a good army of workhorse guitars is a good thing for me. In the end, it's more comfortable having a whole lot of guitars that I can just swap in and out for different kinds of show, have backup. I can use them in the studio to record, and they're pretty reliable. They always kind of sound the same, and they all are similar. So if I ever drop one, lose one, break one, whatever, then I can just skip to another one and keep using that. So to me, having a few of those guitars is always important. So whenever I see one that is a really nice workhorse guitar that's a good deal, or that just looks a little different from what I have that I really dig at that time, I will usually buy a guitar like that for that reason. Sometimes just having many of them to keep them in different tunings can be pretty practical as well. So sometimes you can play in E flat and E standard, and having to switch the guitars back and forth all the time isn't all that great for their tuning stability in the long run, because it flexes the neck a little, and I don't want to get too much into that technical side of it, but having multiple guitars that you can keep in different tunings and keep as backups and just spread the wear across, to me, is a very important feature. And then the third reason why I will get a guitar is because it is a very unique sentimental purchase for me. So I don't have that many guitars that are like that right now. The Tom DeLonge guitars are obviously in that category. To some extent, I would say the White P bass is kind of in that category as well, because I had that thing built to mostly resemble a Mark Hoppus bass, so it has some sentimental value to me. I also have some guitars that didn't start out that way, but actually turn out now to be more sentimental value than anything else. And my black Les Paul is one of those. That was the first guitar that my mom got me when I was 16 years old. Or I should say my first good guitar. I was playing in a Marilyn Manson cover band. I told that story in a couple of vlogs, but yeah, I've had that guitar for almost 20 years now. It's been through many iterations, but yeah, that one has developed sentimental value over time. So now, while it is still a kind of a technically different guitar because it has one single active, very dirty Mick Thompson humbucker, and it's tuned to drop B, which not many of my guitars can go that low. This guitar can. It's sticking around because it is mostly a sentimental thing. I don't bring it on the road anymore. So yeah, that's the 3 categories of guitars that I will typically purchase, which is leading me now to my final point, which is right now I am contemplating 2 very different guitars, but they all fall into the same category. And so today I thought I would reveal to you the next 2 guitars that I'm considering purchasing, and hopefully you guys will comment below what you think I should be getting next. So the first guitar that I'm considering getting next is an Ibanez RG7421 in walnut flat. So I mentioned a little earlier that I had an RG7420 in the past, a 7-string guitar. That one was a white guitar. I got rid of it because it didn't sound very good. It wasn't great, and I didn't have much of a use for a 7-string. Eventually I moved up to an 8-string, the RG8, and as I said in a video about a year ago, I really didn't like that guitar. I found 8 strings very hard to manage, whereas 7 strings, I can really manage them and use that as a regular guitar, and then go for the extended range if I need to. The 8-string, the 2 lower strings were really in my way all the time, and I really couldn't wrap my my mind around that guitar. So I ended up not liking it, not playing it much, and I decided to get rid of it. And when I got rid of it, I mentioned it in the video, but I figured I would probably get a 7-string again at some point. Yet it was a really good deal for a 7421 in walnut flat, which I think the color is beautiful. I have a picture of it like here. Now the second guitar that I'm thinking about getting is very different. It's a Harley Benton Dullahan. I will also have a picture of it somewhere around here. This guitar also falls into the kind of very specific niche guitars that I like to get for specific reasons. Mostly that it's headless, so it's a guitar that doesn't have a headstock. It looks very striking, and I figure that getting a guitar like that to play shows will be very cool. What makes me a little more hesitant about the Harley Benton is that I don't really know about their quality control. I have to get that delivered from Europe, so getting it back if I don't like it might be a bit of an issue. And I'm not sure I would like the whole headless thing. It would look striking on stage, which brings me back to get like my Flying V or my Pink Strat, where it's a guitar that it would be very striking if I played that on stage. I'm not sure that I would like playing that guitar, and so I'm not sure if I would be getting that or the RG7421. But anyways, guys, that's kind of been it for me for this video. I've been rambling on all sorts of things, and I'm sorry about that. Make sure to let me know in the comments below what guitar you think I should be getting next. You can, of course, suggest something that I haven't suggested and make a case for it in the comment below. And with that said, I will see you Sunday for my next music video. All right, peace, guys.